I ran back to Mum and Gord, but they weren't where I'd left them. They'd been moved to some other room that had a window. They were sleeping together in the bed, even though Gord had a little plastic box to sleep in next to Mum. Gord was wearing a toque. I leaned over the bed with the picture of Grandma, but they didn't open their eyes. Everybody was asleep, and I didn't know what to do. I sat in a chair beside Mum and Gord. Mum had told me I should use her phone to call people about Gord and Grandma. But where was her phone now? I wanted to call Lou and Ken. "Gord's here, man. Crazy, right?" I remembered I had T's contact info in my phone for Grandma. I texted him some pictures of me and Mum and Grandma and Gord. In between all his messages from the sexy hot tub girls in Hollywood, he'd have a picture of Grandma connected to a hose, and a random Canadian family missing certain members. Then I remembered something from Call the Midwife. I emptied everything that was in my backpack onto the chair. I took my jean jacket off and lined my backpack with it so it was soft and warm in there. I carefully put Gord into my backpack. Mum didn't move or make a sound. Some parent. She was obviously lying to me when she said new mothers never sleep. Gord's toque was poking out of the top of my backpack. I took it off and put it in my pocket and pulled the strings on my backpack a bit so there was still an air hole for Gord. I put my backpack on my front. Gord was heavier than I'd thought. Whoa. Props to Mum for hauling Gord around like this everywhere. Now I knew why she was so exhausted all the time. I took a big sheet off the shelf and put it over my backpack. I tied it around my neck. It drooped down to the floor. I looked like the Pope. I heard a squeak. I jiggled my backpack a bit under the sheet. Me and Gord took off to the ICU. The lights in all the hallways were dim. There was hardly anybody around, just janitors and tired-looking people who were waiting for something or someone. Me and Gord waited for an authorized person to go through the ICU door. I stayed a long distance behind the person and pretended to be reading a sign on the wall about diarrhea and vomiting. But the authorized person didn't go in. He was standing there, talking with someone. Gord squeaked again. I ran into a different little room for bereaved people and whipped off the sheet